Okay, I'm gonna start this. You know if the volume's okay?
GDKPs, gold sellers, and botting. The streets of Azeroth are riddled with the world's worst criminals,
It's already too low for myself, my deaf ass. So let me
con artists,
better.
and illegal contraband.
Is that better?
But just how far does this nefarious underworld go? How far has this sinister plague infected itself into the World of Warcraft community?
A lot.
Well, it is much, much, much more than you think. The systematic exploitation by the means of illicit
I'll turn it up a little bit more.
practices that are blatantly against terms of service has near destroyed entire server economies. The World of Warcraft is now a world ruled by a mafia of merciless gold exploiters. It has changed the game forever. And now with the WoW token in the game, the scene
That's expensive.
is even worse.
Dude, that WoW token's expensive. What do you? Or the token itself isn't expensive, but that's or I guess yes, the token itself is expensive. That's 4K more than it is on Fairlina. Look at that, dude. Those poor boys. Actually I think this is on Fairlina. This was on Fairlina when he made this actually. Well, we'll continue watching.
Join me as I go undercover into this underworld to expose the true dark, unchecked side of a classic WoW community.
Metaglobin has been doing really good on his videos lately. He's been doing really good. Stranglethorn Vice.
Right, turn it off, it's bloody freezing.
The Streets of Shame.
GDKP is a loot system with a very simple concept. It stands for Gold Dragon Kill Points and evolved from the DKP system. Instead of bidding points that you've earned in your guild, you bid gold for certain gear pieces.
Black Temple.
All the gold then pulls together into a pot that gets shared between every raid member. This concept has been around for much longer than most people think. Since there were, in fact, GDKP runs in EverQuest before WoW was even released, and it has been very popular in the Korean MMO scene for a long time. In Classic WoW, it became much more popular and standardized towards the end of Classic between Blackwing Lair and Naxxramas, because at first, a reputation of a GDKP had a bad smell about it. People used to feel scummy about joining a GDKP run, and people who ran GDKPs were seen as bad members of a community. But when players realize that it's boring
and I hate that, dude. I mean, I've never been a part of GDKPs until right at the end of TBC. But before that, that's how I thought of GDKPs. I was thinking of GDKPs as like this scummy, toxic wasteland where people were just assholes and they were greedy. You know what I mean? And it's like, but then when I actually started doing them, and again, I don't know if I've like found the unicorn group because my group has been really good, but I have only had positive experiences in GDKPs, whereas in like pug groups, SRs, or MS over OS groups, the runs have been terrible, and the people act way worse. People literally leave runs because their gear didn't drop. You know what I mean? But it's because they have no consequences. Besides, I mean, maybe getting blacklisted on like the Fairlina server or whatever. But other than that, there's like no consequences for people there. And then also it's like, oh shit, I just did this 3-hour run. Maybe it was a 4-hour run and it was really grueling. None of the pieces that I wanted dropped, or one piece dropped and I lost the roll. So then it feels like your whole 4-hour period of time there was just wasted. Whereas in the GDKP, you're like, oh, sick, I still get like a 6K cut after this, you know?
Too long to farm gold, the GDKP became more and more
HD? It is, okay. The footage just sucks.
Accepted in the community, particularly as the audience of Classic WoW is very different to the audience of the original Wrath of the Lich King. Back in the day, we were able
to... I mean, look, Rando's got kids. I'm nearing 29 years old. When Wrath was first out, I was just turning... In 2008, I was just turning 14. So yeah, I mean, more freaking... Sorry, I only said that because it's like what he just said. Like, us now is way different than us before with all our responsibilities.
Smooch off our parents, play World of Warcraft 16 hours a day, and eat a diet solely of pot noodles and Monster energy drinks, and feel absolutely fantastic.
Do you guys remember this video? Do you guys remember watching this video? I've watched this video so many times. So many times I've watched this video. Not recently, but back in the day, this video was like iconic. Completely bald like Ram now. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I shaved the sides of my head on purpose, but like I have the hipster comb over going on because the top of my head is getting thin. So I've got the hipster comb over with the, the keeping it long a little bit, but this video, we can watch it later maybe, but this video is iconic because it's literally a British news segment about this kid who's playing WoW all day every day. And like, it shows him like when he gets pissed at a raid and he's punched the wall and his parents are like upset because he's just played. There was a bunch of videos back in the day on YouTube about like kids getting yelled at by their parents for playing WoW for too long or being up too late. And they were always funny to me because I could relate to them. My parents hated me playing this game when I was a kid because I played it way too much.
Of World of Warcraft, on the majority as reach an older age, they have less time and more responsibilities. It's crazy how much people in my Twitch chat actually have children. I mean, who the hell would want to even do that? I mean, why raise children when you can raise your parses?
Exactly.
My point is, most players have less...
Why raise children when you can raise your parses? Can we get that clipped, dude? Like, oh man, why raise children when you can raise your parses? Yeah.
It's time now to sit.
Are we watching Alondo? Is this Alondo here on his mage? It is actually.
Game. But just how big has the GDKP scene become? Big. Well, luckily, I've been able to interview what I can only describe as the Grand Emperor of GDKP's, Zaius, who runs the Stacks GDKP Discord. This is essentially a GDKP network that runs on a Feralina server, the biggest US server. One irritating thing about having to join GDKP runs or PUG in general is having to constantly sign up on Google Sheets to multiple runs.
It is annoying.
The idea behind this server is that it's a network.
The whole Google Sheets thing that you have to sign up for each character, for each run is actually really annoying. Because then I have to go. Here's been my problem lately. I'm trying to get in runs on my priest and my mage. Now, my priest and my mage have been in Old War probably a total of 5 times between them. So they don't have good logs, okay? And they're also not very geared, so they don't have good logs. So I start filling out these Google Doc forms for these guys, and then in the section where they're like, any other things that would make us want to pick you, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, look, I have over 1,000 boss kills in Old War, just this phase. Here are the logs to my 4 other characters that I do Old War on, and I have to do that for each one, and it's freaking time consuming.
Work that every raid leader and guild leader who runs GDKPs can use to bring everyone together. So there's just one big epicenter where people can join and make GDKP.
It is cool that he got an interview with this guy, though.
This is the place where GDKPs are at their absolute peak. I've been given access to Google spreadsheets to look at the kind of pots that groups are ending up with. As you can see, the pots are utterly mental. The biggest I can see here is 1.5 million gold. Divide that by 25 and it's a 60,000 gold split. Obviously, 10% will very likely go to the raid leader, so the raid leader is going to get 150,000 gold to himself. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I've even made that amount of gold during my whole time playing Classic WoW. And half of these pots are over 1 million gold. This will be a full Old War 25-man run doing all of the hard modes. This is obviously where the richest WoW players are coming to spend their gold. I mean, people are spending over 200,000 gold on single items like leg plates of the Endless Void,
which is
and
insane.
Comments Trail.
Look, it's Kush. Look, guys, it's Kush. No, look, it's Kush. Kush bought Comet's Trail for 200K. I knew he was out there still. I knew he was out there somewhere, dude. Just spending 200K. No one's hitting his telephone pole now.
Here, this is a leaderboard of all the top dog spenders. The guy at the top has spent a total of 3 million gold in GDKPs.
That's
roughly the value of $5,000. It has become so desirable now to join these GDKP runs that there's now a monopoly on making groups in the Discord. Because there's so much people wanting to join and make groups, there's simply just too many to put onto the Discord.
True.
So if you want your group to stand out, to buyers, you will have to pay to highlight your group in the Discord at varying rates starting at $30 per day. This will give you the featured raid leader badge in the Discord to help you stand out. So what's essentially happening here is guilds and raid leads are paying real money in order to get bigger gold spenders into their GDKP groups. There's a real money method in order to optimize the best GDKP runs to maximize the amount of gold a run is going to have. And since many GDKP leads actually sell gold...
Typical humans just wanting to min-max everything in life, right? Like, we can't just... And maybe this is a good thing, but like, we can't just settle, right? We can't just settle for like what is. Like, we have to make it a some way, or like... Or maybe it's like just Americans. No, it's not just Americans, but it's like capitalism at its finest, you know? But that's like, it's kind of just inherent to us to do that kind of stuff. Like, if we can make I don't know, like, if we can find a way to help a community, but then also help ourselves, like, just like this Discord server. I mean, this guy's making real money off of this Discord server, right? Because he found a need, right? I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
They probably end up making their money back anyway. Now, although many GDKP runs are made by guilds to essentially gear up their characters faster, because what they do is they pull together loads of gold, give it to their members, send them off into multiple different GDKPs, and if you think about it, they're going to have so much money that they can just buy all of the gear in the raid and be like fully geared straight after the patch is released.
Heck yeah,
and then
dude.
the top guilds will come together to work on
Ramaru, my
achieving world record passes and speedruns. But many GDKP leaders are in fact selling their gold. Now, Zias and the Stacks Discord has an absolute zero tolerance policy for raid leads selling their gold or advertising it in the Discord.
Smart.
I don't want to paint this Discord in a bad light because they have absolutely nothing to do with gold selling. Zias's profession essentially is being a Discord designer. He's made a little bit of a hustle by making really good Discord channels. But unfortunately, many GDKP leaders are selling their gold on the side, especially as one GDKP run can get you around $500 if you're selling on the side.
That's why
not involving a third-party middleman website.
Leading these things.
I know for a fact that many raid leads on my server are definitely doing it. I challenge you to pretend to be interested in buying gold and ask some GDKP raid leads. One of my long-term viewers has been running GDKP.
I mean, I don't know this person, but he has like the top parses on like 6 different classes. The Londo, he streams and everything. He's just Meta Goblins used a couple of his clips in here so far because he does GDKPs, right? That's why I said look who it is again, because that was like the 3rd clip I saw of Londo.
Since the dawn of Classic, and has told me that people are constantly asking him if he sells gold. He doesn't, but it just goes to show how big of a thing it is. And also, you have to think, where on earth is this gold coming from?
If you're a raid leader and you're getting some, like, let's take one of the average pots. Let's say you have a 350k pot and you're getting 10% of it, right? You're getting 35k. Wait, is that all? Yeah, you're getting 35k and you didn't spend anything that time, but you're running, let's say you run like 2 or 3 a week. Let's say you get 100k a week. Okay, that's not as much as I thought. It would be hard for a person who's only making that much to actually sell gold if they're actually trying to gear their characters as well. But these people who are making like 150k each GDKP because their GDKPs are going for 1.5 million pots. Oh yeah, no, they could sell their gold. But yeah, you're right, Rando. If I could raid lead for $500 a day, like, whew, man, like, easy. I could raid lead for $500 a day, you know, easy money.
People really sitting on their PCs farming 3 million gold?
No.
Of course they're not. These GDKP runs are essentially absorbing gold bought from gold sellers that is found by bots, and then this gold is being redistributed into the server economy through GDKPs. So the economy is built by gold farming bots. People buy this gold and then spend the gold in GDKPs where the gold is snowballed and dispersed into the player base. There's no wonder people don't farm gold anymore, because by joining a GDKP you can essentially obtain the gold that people purchase
I've never
from
farmed
bots
for gold in my
without
life.
spending the money yourself. You just have to join a GDKP. Just
Before
before we move on,
GDKPs, I was
guys,
just
this
a poor
video
boy.
has taken ages for me to make. Like, it's taken a good 2 weeks of research, editing, scripting, yada yada.
Yeah.
Because like I've said in my previous Cataclysm video, I want to spend more time and passion into making single videos. I've actually spent quite a bit of money making this video, and I also had to drive an entire hour just to get a perfect 5-second clip for the intro. So if you like the video,
awesome.
please do subscribe, because that tells me that people are liking these videos, and then I don't have to worry so much about uploading very frequently.
No, I mean, I upload YouTube videos, and the videos that I make are basically stream highlights, and it takes me probably between editing down the footage, which is somewhere around usually 3 to 4 hours of raw footage, and usually I try to put together like 2 or 3 of my runs in one video. Between that and then making the thumbnail and then uploading it, it takes me probably around 3 hours ish, maybe 4. And my videos, I mean, not like production quality is like super great. Like, they're very bare bones, right? And they're meant to be, right? But yeah, like, it takes a lot. I mean, 2 weeks of like getting footage, editing, putting it together, like, it's a lot of work actually. So good props to him.
Frequently to appease the YouTube algorithm. So now it's time to go further down the rabbit hole, because we need to find the source of this gold mine. Where and how is this gold farmed and spread into the world?
Let's find out. The factory. Dude, you know
Botting has been a thing in WoW and MMOs for years. In fact, people were botting in vanilla WoW. Now, particularly in World of Warcraft, I think it is more susceptible to getting botted, because Blizzard allow the public to edit their LUI code and make add-ons. This makes it much easier for people to make very powerful bots in the game, and the addition of macros in...
Look, see this line? So you're telling me that like the AAA games that have come out recently, you know, where you like press like like you press a button and it shows you where you need to go? Are you telling me that's like botting now? Those AAA games, you know, where it gives you a line to follow for your objectives, you know? That's now botting. You can do that in WoW now.
The game also makes it even easier. People probably wonder why new MMOs don't really have add-on support or macros, and this is why. As I speak right now, I've got a level 4 Undead Warrior leveling her way up in Tristful Glades without me even needing to be tabbed into the game. Because I'm not messing about in this video, guys. The only way we can find out how good these bots are is actually installing them and trying them out for ourselves.
True.
But don't worry about me getting banned or anything, this very likely won't happen. I talked to a Blizzard CM before starting this project, fully detailing and explaining what I intend to do. She said it's probably not a good idea for me to do this on my main account because I would very likely get banned, but the Blizzard CM has done me a massive solid and given me a free version of Dragonflight Epic Edition and 90 days game time.
Ooh, that's
I didn't
nice
even
of
need
them.
a Dragonflight key, but you never know, it may come useful in a future video. Now, I do criticise Blizzard a lot, and obviously I will do a lot in this video, but it has to be said, the Blizzard CMs are absolute diamonds.
That's pretty cool that
so
you got
when I
free
criticise
game time
Blizzard, this
just
does
to do
not
this
include
project.
Blizzard CMs in any shape or form, because they are so generous and so helpful to me and to other content creators when it comes to, you know, working on their project.
What
So
are
I
you guys
booted this
talking
bot up
about?
to do
I don't
some
hate
low-level
anyone.
leveling, and I'm astounded on how well it performs. It honestly performs better than most players. I'm getting 8k XP per hour, less than level 5. It is leveling extremely efficiently. It knows precisely where to go and kill mobs, what route to take, where to accept and turn in quest, and I've noticed it does this pathing process where you can see a line being drawn on the screen. This detects the best route so you don't get stuck anywhere. It finds quest items, mobs, NPCs, and everything that you need. It will even go to a class trainer.
I need this software for my hardcore character.
And vendor your loot. There are a number of different profiles you can load into the bot software. It's ridiculously easy to do. People in the community also program more profiles and sell them on the websites. You can get profiles for dungeon grinding for gold. As we know, many bots right now are farming Botanica, since this is an easy, consistent farm that is instanced.
Boring.
They're gathering profiles to do mining and herbing. Before they reintroduce the level 55 restriction on Death Knights, a lot of bots were simply just making Death Knights and running around Badlands doing, mining mithril.
Or they're just literally standing outside Botanica.
You've also got simple
it.
cloth farms and profiles to continuously queue into Battlegrounds for XP. With Joyous Journey's buff active again, you will very likely see this very soon. The bot will even attempt to do PvP to its best of its ability to avoid getting banned. I use the software Benetto. Yes, it's genuinely called Benetto. I wish I was making that one up. But there are other bots out there like BotBro and Orca. They cost around $20, but for some reason they have this hidden fee to make you pay another $20 to unlock the software, apparently, because it won't work on Windows
of course they do.
Without this unlocker key. It's basically complete twaddle to make you spend more money. I mean, why wouldn't .exe installer file just not work on Windows? It doesn't make any sense. And you have to pay that $20 every month in order to continue using the software. It is a bit of a faff to install the software with lots of file editing, but anyone with a semi-decent PC skills could figure it out. I imagine the bigger gold bot farming companies have found ways to crack the bot software and make their own software to farm gold so they don't have to spend this monthly fee. Now I have to imagine that I have spent money to get a level 70 character boost. In day 1, my character would easily be level 80. And I mean one real-time day, because I will just be able to leave the bot running overnight. The bot also knows how to optimize gold making. For instance, it always returns to a vendor when you run out of bag space. So leveling 70 to 80, you can easily get a decent 3,000 to 5,000 gold. And this is roughly the cost of $6, since gold is so cheap at the minute. At this point, you would have a character now ready to do some gold farming. We have seen in my previous video many bots are grinding TBC dungeons. They essentially clear the dungeon, disenchant greens and blues they get for extra money, and possibly use tailoring to yield more gold from the cloth by selling them as bags. Some will also farm mana tombs, since inside there you can get an extra 100 gold per hour if you have mining. These runs normally yield 500 to 1,000 gold per hour. And they're so well programmed, they will farm gold faster and more efficiently than any human can. So on average, I would say the runs are 700 gold. That's just under 17,000 gold per day.
Oh, you're getting a migraine? Sorry,
$21 per day.
If you're bouncing,
so within 3 days, the cost of setting up a new account is covered. And like I said before, the people who are using DK bots to farm mithril in Badlands wouldn't even have to pay this upfront cost of a character boost.
Dude.
Not to mention how you can easily farm the gold on retail.
See, Blizzard needs to learn how to monetize this. Come on, Blizzard, put for an extra $5 a month, you can have a botting program where you can leave your character in game and it'll go on autopilot for you at night to farm shit. But for extra $5 a month. You know what I mean? Like, would you not do it if they put that in? You'd quit? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't quit. No, yeah, like you wouldn't quit. No, private servers would do it too. Are you kidding me? And honestly, it's easier to bot on a private server. I'm just saying, like, yeah, these bots need a sub. Yeah, they do. I'm just saying, like, if you could pay an extra $5 a month where you could leave your character online to farm gold, would you not? Why wouldn't you? Fuck gold. Like real life, if you like you want passive income in real life, right? So why, like, we all want to find ways to get passive income in our life. It's just the same in WoW. Find a way, yeah.
So for a free month of sub, but at least a WoW token will never come to Wrath of the Lich King Classic.
Psych.
Yeah. Bots don't need to do dungeon runs. They can just buy Saronite ore off the auction house and use the Saronite shuffle method with prospecting to flip 500 gold per hour just sitting in a major city next to an auction house. Now, $21 per day might seem like a small amount. I mean, that will probably barely cover the electricity cost to run a computer. Well, the thing is, these bots can easily be run on multiple different game clients at once, because you can customize the window size of the WoW game client to make it so small that it barely takes up any CPU power. And this is why multiboxing was possible for so long. If you had 5 clients open farming gold, that's 100.
Do you guys remember that multi-boxer back in Missa Pandaria? I can't remember his name, but he streamed and he had like, I think he had like a full 40-man raid group of multi-boxers. If I'm remembering correctly. Was it 40-man? There was a back in MOP, there was a multi-boxer and he had like, it was like 10 druids, 10 DKs, 10 shamans, 10 priests, like all like literally a 40-man raid group of characters, of multi-boxing characters. And like it was just a death ball. And because world PvP was like huge back in MOP, and he would just roll around griefing people on the wall at the PvP vendor. He'd go into major cities and grief people in major cities. And I can't remember. I think he eventually got stopped somehow. Like he was doing something against TOS. I mean, I think multi-boxing was against TOS already, but I don't know how he did it. It was crazy.
$100 per day. Times that by 30 and it's 3,000 per month. Converted to pounds, that's just under 2.5 grand per month. That's 30 grand per year at around £15 per hour. Now, to put it in perspective, my sister actually earns as much, and she's a fully qualified veterinary nurse. And that's just with 5 clients. You can easily run 40 clients at once. People were doing this in the original Classic WoW when they were multi-boxing to wipe raid groups on.
Look at all these along the edge. He just hasn't all minimized all the way around the screen. That's insane, dude. That's crazy. Gnomes smoked.
Way to Blackwing Lair. With 40 clients running, you could make just under 300 grand a year, 24 grand per month, and that's roughly £152 per hour. Not really a bad wage if you think about it. Obviously, this would mean you would have to have your PC running 24/7 for a whole year. But still, if you cut that wage in half, it's still insane. You're getting paid more than a doctor or a lawyer. I have heard many anecdotes of gold farmers who, in certain countries, are making more than doctors. Or people who have just done it quickly, short term, over the course of a few months to buy a car or something. It makes serious money. And we haven't even talked about how
farmers aren't doing it just because they love it, right?
To speed up the process of
it actually makes them money.
It also isn't a requirement yet to two-step verify your account on World of Warcraft, your Battle.net account. So these companies still have the ability to hack accounts, steal the gold, and sell it. As long as a bot can make profit before they are banned, bots will continue to exist. The only way to truly mitigate bots is to ban them earlier during their lifetime, ban them before they can make a profit, or increase the running cost, but obviously we don't want to personally spend more money on game time. But I have talked to people who have been able to run bots for months without getting banned. A bot is more likely to get banned if they're caught in the open world and reported by players. But if you're level to max level playing the game normally, and then just bot yourself all inside a dungeon farming gold, you are much less likely to get banned and can run a bot for months. And you're normally only picked up by the big bot ban waves. And you don't even need to do it like that. You can just put a bot into a dungeon to level through dungeons. I think you're just never going to get caught.
Really?
All of these anecdotes that I've heard from people from my Twitch chat, I'm obviously not going to name and shame, but luckily being a Twitch streamer, you do end up meeting people with experience in these kind of practices. However, luckily very recently, as I was scripting this video, an alleged gold botter and seller has totally opened up to his practices and his process on Reddit.
This is who you were talking about, Rando. Wait, I want to read this. I want to read this. I'm a botter/gold seller at the start of every major classic expansion release. As unpopular as I'll be, ask me anything and I'll honestly answer you. Okay, so at the beginning of every major classic expansion, he bots and sells gold. Majority of my selling is done directly to suppliers of major websites as price and demand fluctuate. I also have regulars from guild leaders to casuals who hit me up. Below is a screenshot of what I made off this particular website in the first 3 weeks of Wrath launch, but as I mentioned, I sell all over the place. I'd average $2,000 to $3,000 per month. I don't know if that means $2 to $3,000 or if that's $2,000 to $3,000 per month. I'm assuming it's $2,000 to $3,000 per month. For the first 3 months of an expansion launch. I'll run anywhere from 5 to 25 bots at a time, To explain the screenshot, this was the profit on the site during Wrath launch. It's not the biggest site I use, just over $1,000 from it. We can't look at the screenshot right this second, I guess. Been doing this since the glider days, real vanilla, on and off between the years. Not here to gloat or shitpost, just see a lot of misinformation regarding selling gold in WoW. For example, I am not Chinese. I do care about the game, and I do believe more should/could be done to stop people like me. Wow. He's having a little what? He feels bad or something. Actually, there was a different dude that talked too. I did read this one as well, though.
Glider bot. He claims on average he gets a good 90 days out of one account and runs 25 accounts at once. Further also supporting what I've heard from other people and, other sellers. It further goes on to explain how the game's warden system, as he calls it, auto-bans botters. Apparently the warden tech is very outdated, and basically the botters have found ways to...
Yeah, I kind of want to read these responses.
Out of one account and runs 25 accounts at once.
So this guy said, if Blizz hits you with a ban, how quickly are you back up and running, and is it cost prohibitive? So he says, if Blizz hit you with a ban, how quickly you're back up and running? 15 minutes. He says, I'm 58 already. Just get the old faithful route going, and I'm back at it. Banning is more of an inconvenience than anything. Okay.
Further also supporting what I've heard from other people and,
What's this one? If you were Blizzard, how would you eliminate all or the majority of bots? He says, great question. The answer, they can't, or rather they won't. The only way botting becomes unprofitable in the long term is if, quote unquote, warden, which that's what he's calling Blizzard's defense system, detects and auto bans the botter. The warden tech is long outdated, meaning bots get banned almost exclusively due to player reporting. Gone are the days of having specific GMs per server. I remember on multiple occasions through the original vanilla TBC Wrath launches, not only would you get a whisper from a GM, but they would also fuck with your character to catch you botting. I'm talking suspending your character midair, teleporting you to a random place, spawning invincible monsters to watch your bot's rotation. That level of human interaction is long gone and isn't profitable for Blizzard to implement anymore. So while there is demand, there will be supply. Add that to the lack of humans monitoring other humans, and there's your answer. It won't stop. It never has. Dang, dude.
The sellers. It further goes on to explain how the game's warden system, as he calls it, auto-bans botters. Apparently the warden tech is very outdated, and basically the botters have found ways to, ultimately defeat it and get around it. And there also used to be much more game master assistance when it came to detecting and banning bots, who would get whispers from GMs investigating and deliberately doing stuff to mess around with his characters to disrupt the botting process, and obviously to find out whether he is a bot or not. He used to wake up sometimes and have 10 accounts banned, but now with VPNs of virtual machines, it's much easier to not get banned. So this is interesting because it means that botters are running the bots on virtual PCs rather than using it on their own all the time, which obviously cuts down on electricity costs. So people left a lot of questions on this post, and I read through all the guys' replies, and I'll read out the most interesting ones. He says the GDKPs are a huge source of income for him. The days of the Chinese sweatshop are over, and now there's a big divide of where gold sellers are coming from. Many are from Europe, the States, and other parts of Europe. After getting banned, he can get another account set up within 15 minutes. And he stresses the importance of keeping the gold moving through accounts to prevent an account from getting banned for gold selling or buying. He personally runs 60 bots across 3 machines.
Wow.
He says it is possible to run over 100 bots, but you will need 2 people to manage it all. He also talks about how AI could make bots even better because then the bots can think for themselves rather than follow predetermined parameters and pre-coded. So in the future, I wouldn't be surprised if bots become even more intelligent and cause even more damage to the game.
The traffickers.
The industry of gold selling is much bigger than you think. It expands widely across all of the games, selling various different currencies and different services like arena boosts, raid boosts to get gear, and even power leveling on Classic Era. For this video,
Wait, what is this? Okay, Old War Raid. Get full run with a discount. At least 3 items guaranteed in 25 people mode. This is 25 people mode, guys, just so you know. for $80. So if you spend $80, you get a full run with a discount. And you get 3 items guaranteed in 25 people mode. You drank some water? Good, Michelle, good. This is free. Get free loot priority with a discount. So at least 8 items guaranteed. Selling Furious Gladiator's Tabard, 2300 rating for $713. Cutting Edge Old War. Kill all Old War bosses in hard mode before nerf. Mimron's head mount available for $335. Bro, I remember hearing, people still do this to this day. They sell stuff like this for gold now because it's, TOS, but people sell Cutting Edge all the time for a huge amount of gold. These guilds that clear it and are week 1, they get a huge amount of gold, which they can then turn into real money. They can turn it into real money, you know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of is what this just cuts out the middle. This just cuts out the middleman. This cuts out the gold part. You can just go here, spend the money, and then go hang out with them in a raid, and they pay you. That's crazy. Wait, what is this one? Gladiator? Be part of the 0.5% top players, get the title and mount for $1,800. I wonder how long that takes someone. I wonder how long it would take like a rank 1 player to get someone to Glad. A day? 2 days? I don't know. Onyxia's Lair, $175. 2202s is only $55.
Focus on gold selling, obviously.
That's crazy, guys.
So I decided to go ahead and buy some gold on my throwaway account and see what the process looks like. It cost me £3 to get 2,000 gold.
It's expensive.
1,900 because I accidentally said my character was on Alliance and not Horde. But luckily, the customer service is insanely good on this website.
I bet.
They messaged me before I ever knew there was some kind of issue to adjust the amount of gold that I would receive. The website I used was Overgear. They must be making some serious bank for them to have such good customer service to the point where it's probably even better than Blizzard's. And it took just under 2 hours for the gold to arrive. As you
Bro, you put in you put in a ticket for Blizzard, and it takes them days to get to you. You freaking order some gold, and they're on you like that, dude. They're like, oh wait, this is effed up. Let's change this. Let's get you done. Oh wait, how do I get this to you in game? Blah, blah, blah. They are on you.
See, they have cleverly tried to make the purchase less suspicious by writing a message. Here is your cut from a GDKP with a bullet, which is probably the cheapest item that you can buy in the game. Now, there's a number of these different gold selling communities, and some sellers operate on G2G as well. They claim to have millions of gold available for purchase across all realms. Now, I tried to get in contact with these gold sellers, but they are extremely secretive and confidential.
Oh, yeah, of course.
As you can see by the DMs, I definitely tried. This makes sense as these companies could easily get sued by Blizzard as they are essentially selling a Blizzard product. It also wouldn't surprise me if they're trying to avoid the tax man like Dr. Alan Grant tries to avoid a T-Rex, just stay still and don't do anything and hope they don't see you. I've actually been applying this technique to a number of my family members and it works quite well actually. But from what I can understand from the website, these gold sellers are more of a middleman company. The days of ramming 50 Chinese sweaty men into an office to play World of Warcraft are over. The practice now is to be more freelance. Anyone can sell their gold to this website, whether you're just a normal player who has some gold left over that you're not using, or obviously something like a GDKP leader. You sell it to the website and then this gold is resold. They say their gold isn't obtained from illegal practices like botting and account hacking, but there's
so obviously they're going to buy, if you're going to give a website like this your gold, they're obviously going to buy it at a lower price than what they're going to sell it for. So I don't know. Hopefully you're getting good money from it. I say hopefully. No, don't do this. This is bad. But I do. Here's what I like is that people are finding ways to make money, especially in this day and age where money's not as valuable as it once was. So people need way more money nowadays, and they're just trying to find ways to make money. I don't think that people are trying to be malicious to each other. They're just trying to make money in a way that they can. And why not do it on a game that you love? Now, I know it's against TOS, and it's against TOS for a reason. I'm not advocating for anyone to do this. But I understand it. right? I understand. Like, if there's money to be made in this day and age, you got to make that money. You got to.
Way to determine this, especially as I've been told there's an acute practice of gold laundering to take the trace off it. Normally someone will make a throwaway account and make a guild bank to deposit big amounts of gold into, and then it will be dispersed to multiple different people in different accounts. There's definitely a number of ways to avoid getting banned for gold selling and buying. The guild bank method is apparently the best proven method to not get banned when purchasing gold. A number of guilds are doing this in order to get gold for GDKPs because it's just a faster way to gear up, like I mentioned earlier. GDKP raid leaders are also using methods like this to essentially cut out the middleman and sell their gold for a better amount. But don't worry everyone, because now that the WoW token is in the game, it means nobody will ever buy gold on third-party sites anymore.
True.
Because according to the lead dev of Classic WoW, the token is a proven tool to mitigate RMT, despite the fact that G2G and basically every...
It probably does a little bit. There are people who are very scared of buying gold from third-party websites, but they want to buy gold because they don't have the time to farm it, right? So this is a very good way. This is a very good way of getting gold and not getting your account banned. So yes, it will mitigate some of it, but it's not going to mitigate as much as they're trying to make us believe it will.
The gold buying site is currently undercutting the token by 50%. Yes, yeah. 50%. Right now on Gold Mag, a WoW token costs £17 and you can get 8.8 thousand gold, or you can get the same amount of gold for £9. Fair enough, since there is now a safe, reliable and legal method to buy gold in the game, less people will use third-party sites. But this helps retailers reduce their running costs. They have hordes of gold lying around on different accounts on every server in the game. Now they can just buy game time with gold and focus more on boosting and loot selling services. This really is like Blizzard throwing a boomerang into their own face. But the thing is, Blizzard already know that. The WoW token is purely in the game to make profit, to make more money from the game they are developing. It's like printing money.
Yeah,
they can just add stuff to the game that people will pay for. Didn't require any development cost to implement the WoW token. It's been in the game for years, and even in Classic, since it has been data mined years ago. I think there's this huge misconception that the WoW token will fix RMT, but in truth, it really doesn't do anything. In fact, it just further destroys server economies.
Yep.
GDKPs being so popular in the game, there's a huge incentive to buy gold. Blizzard definitely knew this. This is why GDKPs aren't against terms of service and haven't been. They have waited for the concept to blow up, and then they've added a system where people can buy gold for real money. It's genius money making.
Yep.
But we're all getting bent over in the storeroom. The average players are not buying playtime, okay? It takes about 10 to 16 hours to farm enough gold to buy a game token.
Yeah.
Or you could work for 3 hours on minimum wage in the UK and have enough money for 2 months of game time. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
even when I was a kid and had absolutely no income, I just saved a little bit of my lunch money every week, went to the bank, literally with £1 coins, and deposited it into my bank account just so I can play World of Warcraft.
I'm gonna pause for just a second so I can read what you guys are saying. Used to heal carries back in Season 4 BFA at 15 key level for 580k per key. Wow. You got a 100k cut. Seller took some of our cut for putting group together. That makes sense. In 2000s Classic, we would get responses from GMs during the game. Yeah, I remember that. That's happened to me a couple times. I remember seeing GMs in the game. Imagine. Those were the days. Those were the days, man. They would be around during events, giving people cool things. Yep, I miss that too, dude. That real human interaction from the game, and like knowing that there was like game masters around that, like, I don't know, like they could enjoy, like people that enjoyed the game became game masters. You know what I mean? That's who they had hired at Blizzard, were people who enjoyed the game. I remember one week I made over 1.5 million gold. Dang, Michelle. I was just chain running keys, going out of my mind, healing. Dude, that's really awesome, actually. That's really awesome. It's cheating, in my opinion. If there's tokens, then it is not cheating, but I don't like it and I won't do it. That's fair. That's fair. Fair assessment. Fair assessment.
The WoW token literally doesn't help anybody apart from gold sellers and boosters who are farming tens of thousands of gold every day. And another obviously bad side effect of the WoW token is how it will inflate the prices of basic commodities like flasks and food. When the average raider has to spend more money just in their average week of raiding, it means they have to do more boring content like gold farming, meaning they are much more likely to just quit playing the game because they can't be bothered gold farming so much. This is why I quit Classic WoW and had a few months break between Blackwing Lair and AQ40. Either that or they will buy gold on third-party sites or the WoW token, further just exacerbating the economy even worse, and eventually it will be so bad that the genuine gameplay experience of Wrath of Lich King Classic will simply just be much worse than it should be. There's no other way of saying it. The game will just be worse. And ironically, Blizzard will lose money on subscriptions from people quitting. But obviously, that doesn't seem to matter because if they didn't feel they could make more money from less but bigger paying customers, they wouldn't do it.
From the
Many
whales,
IPs
dude.
now have this design: make more money from less players, which unfortunately normally results in less quality player experience.
True.
This video was supposed to be about the dark side of Classic WoW, an investigation into the industry of illicit practices in the community. But as you can see, Blizzard aren't exactly morally superior to gold-selling websites. With the inclusion of a character boost and the WoW token, their practices are literally just as predatory and exploitive as third-party websites. Furthermore, they are aiding third-party websites, not mitigating them, by increasing a player's need to buy gold and allowing third-party sellers to reduce their running costs to better run their industry. Every single gold seller that I've talked to is happy about the WoW token being in the game. The terms of service agreement that they stand on is about as brittle as a politician's backbone.
Well, it's like what I said earlier, right? Like, the WoW token doesn't do anything to really stop RMT. What it does is it incentivizes people to get more, to like run GDKPs more, because now there's a WoW token out. You can have your game time for free, basically, if you're doing GDKPs. I mean, if you're buying gold, if you're buying gold, like that, it doesn't help to offset it so much. But if you're just doing GDKPs and not buying gold, dude, well, you're in the spot that I'm in, right? Like, my game time is going to be free. And with the amount of RMT that's still happening on third-party websites, the WoW token's not going to cost very much gold. So,
true dark side of World of Warcraft isn't hidden away within some hidden mafia community operating in the shadows. It's right in front of everyone in plain sight for everyone to see.
The Dark Portal Pass character boost. That's the reason. The fact that the character boost was in the game in TBC is the reason I'm playing Classic to this day. If there wasn't a character boost that came in TBC, I would not be playing Classic right now, because I wouldn't have wanted to spend the time to level a character. Maybe when Wrath came out and it was easier to level, I would have leveled one up, but I wouldn't have played TBC if there wasn't a character boost. That's just the truth of it. Because when Classic came out, I tried to level a character. I got a mage to level 30, and I made a mage because people told me that was the easiest class to level, right? And I only got it to level 30, and then I quit in Vanilla Classic because it was so boring. I hated spending that much time on the mage in Classic. I was like, fuck this. But when TBC came out, I was more excited because TBC is when I started playing WoW. And so that was where a lot of my memories were, and I wanted to play. And then I saw that they have a character boost, and I was like, oh, easy. I'm going to boost this druid level 58. I'm going to level it up. I leveled it up in the pre-patch to 60, so I was ready to go in TBC. And then you guys know the rest is history, me on my druid. But that's the reason why I started playing Classic, is because of the character boost. If they hadn't had the character boost, I wouldn't be here. At least, I probably would not be in the guild like I am, Sorry, let me read. How many characters did I boost? Okay, so I boosted the druid on my first account. Second character I boosted was my shaman. Third character I boosted was, I wanted a tank, but when I bought the boost before realizing that you couldn't boost a paladin in TBC. So the third character I boosted was the warrior because I wanted a tank. And I wouldn't have chosen the warrior at the beginning anyways. So that was the third one. And then the fourth one I boosted was the warlock. And then the fifth one I boosted was the priest. Sixth one I boosted was the mage. And then the DK basically was already boosted, right? Because you can start a DK at 55. And what else? The paladin. So actually the paladin is the only. Let me think about this. My paladin is the only character I have that I actually started at level 1. But I started at level 1 and then I got RFC boosts. And then I went and got SFK boosts. And then I went and got Scarlet Monastery boosts, which Limbo ran me through a bunch. And then I went and got once I got it to like 50, then I got Zul'Farrak boosts. And then, so the paladin basically was boosted, but it was just a slower process because I actually had to level it from, I had to take it from level 1. But and then up to like level 58 when I could do dungeons and TBC. So my first character that I've leveled from level 1 is the shaman that I'm leveling right now in Joyous Journeys. Because I couldn't be effed to level, man. I couldn't be effed to level from level 1. I did not want to do it. So every character I have has been boosted. Yeah, that's actually crazy. I didn't actually think about that. So, but anyways, let's just finish out the video. That's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. He's just going through and showing all the store items. Sued by the government, imagine. I don't know. I'm not really on the fence. I'm not judging this. This is just informational, this video. So I'm not going to put a judgment on this. And I know you guys know what I do. I do GDKPs, right? So I don't know what part I have to play in this whole thing, but the information's out there and you can choose, what to think about it, as far as whatever you want to think about it. But I do dislike cosmetic things in the store. And the reason I dislike cosmetic things in the Blizzard store is because like the cosmetics in the Blizzard store are usually really, really good and really, really cool. And it irks me that stuff isn't just put into the game. You know what I mean? It irks me that like that could be more content for the game, right? Shut up, Michelle. This is my rant. This isn't Asmongold's rant. It's my rant. I think we think the same, but I want that stuff to be put in the game for like cosmetics, or like cosmetics is cool. We like cosmetics. A lot of what we do in this game is for cosmetics. We like titles. We like our gear to look cool, right? And we like cool mounts. Put that stuff in the game as content instead of just making someone pay $20 for a mount, right? We already pay a sub fee. You already pay for an expansion every time, right? Like I've now paid for the Wrath expansion twice. Once in original Wrath and once now, right? Like I'm just saying, like, so Blizzard store items kind of irk me a little bit because of that. Because I'd rather have content to do in the game for cool cosmetics and not pay for them. Now, Dragonflight has done a good job about adding cosmetics to the game as content. There's still stuff in the store, but it's been far and few between since Dragonflight came out. But anyways, this was a really good video. I'm glad we watched that. That was fun. I enjoy these videos, and good job to Medigoblin for putting in some work. Look, Bald Man is gonna get like an hour and a half of content out of this. Great video.